Hello, my beautiful chickens. I love you guys. I hope you're having a great day. I'm doing a little bit of something different today because I get a lot of questions and I don't have time to get back to all of them. But I'm answering some of them today, so let's roll. The question is how long I've been playing guitar. I've been playing guitar for somewhere close to about 15 years, off and on. I didn't take it more seriously until later in life. I had lessons as a teenager. My poor parents suffered. They paid for lessons, but I wasn't a good student whatsoever. I wrangled with the thing and I wouldn't do what I was supposed to do off of a weekly basis. I wasn't a good student. So it kind of just became something in the background of my life. So later in my 20s, I would pick it up and have a passion come forward and burn through me. It's very deep for me now. It's very profound. I never get sick of it. It's something that gives back to me, and I love that. And I hope that you have that with music. Ooh, beginner tips. Okay, this is really the meat of what I wanted to get into because I've learned a lot. I've had many teachers. I know a lot of great musicians. I don't like gatekeeping information. If there is a faster way to learn, if there's a more efficient way of going about things, that's really what I care about giving to you. Because, I've taught people previously where they look at the fretboard or they start understanding tab and they get very overwhelmed. We don't want that for you. We want you to feel enriched and love the art, because let me tell you, practice time should really just be considered playtime, because all that you need to be a guitarist is a guitar. Don't let anybody tell you that because you start small that you are not a musician and you are not a guitarist. I want you to own your identity as a musician and really, from the get-go, just love it. Just love it and let yourself enjoy it, because that's what it's for. It's cool to even begin it. Everyone knows music is fun. Everyone knows that music is cool. So one of the first things I want to talk about is I want you to work on your open chords. I'll link this in my description if I can. You can get it for just a few bucks on Amazon. This is a chord chart. This is going to be your bestie friendy. When you're first navigating the fretboard, let me give you an example. I want you to think in shapes. So we have an A here, right? This is an A. So when transposing this onto the guitar, you're going to have index, middle finger, third finger, right? That's A. When I say think in shape, I mean, I want you to be looking at this. See those three guys right there? And I want you to make the jump in your mind of, that's my three fingers. Boom. The problem that people have when they begin to learn is that they'll go first finger, second finger, third finger, and that's okay moderately when you're first learning your chords. But the sooner that you make that mental jump from this to this, the faster you're going to learn. And when you start soloing and you really know where stuff is, that's what's going to light up your world when you're playing and just having fun. And the sooner you make that learning jump, the better. So please write that down. Keep it in mind. Think in shapes. Think in shapes, my beautiful chickens. Also, I want you to think in a growth mindset. Everyone starts at a different level. Certain things are going to be easier for you than others. I didn't start out hitting bar chords, knowing where the F was. Didn't happen like that for me. So even if you have 20 minutes, I want you to clear everything, become focused, don't have people disturbing you, separate from your phone for a while. Your phone can go away, and you give your time for that 20 minutes, 30 if you got it, and you really narrow in and focus on what you're doing. Sorry for the noise. Also, that being said, practice, playtime, not practice time. It's sometimes better than none at all. Some days I have time to do 30 minutes. If you leave me alone and I can get away from all of humanity, I will hammer out like an hour 45. Some practice is better than no practice. So I don't know if you have kids. I don't know if you're busy running to work. Keep that sacred to you. It's your devotion to your art, and having the open heart to do that is what's going to keep you playing. Because think of it, I want you to kind of also mentalize it as compound interest. The more practice that you put in, the more that's going to compound as you grow as a player. So, like when I first started getting better, there's like a quarter of people going, you suck. Thanks, hon. When I first started getting much better, I just started compounding like 30 minute intervals in my schedule of I'm doing this, I'm doing that, like, indeed. So keep that in mind. Find the joy. Find the joy is so important to me. When I say think of it as playtime, obviously you can think of it as practice. Like, there is something to be said for playing and having the tenacity and grit to be like, I'm doing this, X, Y, and Z. But also get into a routine that works for you. Typically what I like to do is I like to do whatever cover I'm working on, and then another 30 or 20 minutes on writing my own stuff. That system has worked for me in just over time, because what you do consistently is what's going to matter. It isn't going to benefit you to have like a big spike of growth and then like you don't play for a couple weeks. It's helpful to get into a reliable routine so that way it propagates you to go forward and keep playing and enjoy what you do as a player. I've actually, this is a controversial question, but I'll answer it my own way. The question is, I've heard a lot about learning music theory. What are your thoughts? So, I know some theory. I've played around with some theory. Depending what you're doing, it can benefit you. However, with what I do as a player and what I do when I go on a stage and what I do when I'm crafting my own things has nothing to do with theory. I can't read music. Jimi couldn't. Jimi Hendrix, who personally I think he's so up there. He's such an idol. If he couldn't read music, don't shame yourself about not doing it. If it works for you and you enjoy it, or maybe you're a more sophisticated player, or you want to go to school for that kind of learning, go for it. But don't let people stop you from saying that there's only this certain methodology to work. What has actually worked for me as a guitarist has been extrapolating what I like from certain teachers in certain ways and then doing my own thing. And by that, I want you to have liberation in yourself to do what works for you. You know, I'm not, I guess I sound very rock and roll, but I don't like too many rules. I think that sometimes that not only discourages people, but there isn't some big mystique about it, about being a player. Like, you either play guitar or you don't, honey. And you either love it or you don't. And don't let those limitations stop you, because you're going to hear a lot of things. I've had teachers tell me interesting things, and then I go home and I work on it and I figure it out myself, and I go, oh, I could have figured that out in like 5 minutes by myself. So part of the rules in the Mary Michelle handbook is that there are none, and that trust your intuition. Trust your intuition. If you have any other questions for me, let me know. I do have boundaries. Do not ask me such highly personal questions. I won't be talking about my dating life. I won't be discussing certain things. Being out there in a public way has really shown itself to me in that I care about my privacy. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'm always happy to help, always open to dispelling the truth. Because, you know, if somebody doesn't tell you outright, look, this is like $5 on Amazon, it'll save you a lot of time, rather than sit here and charge you $60 so I can tell you to put your index finger a certain way. Slim Shady has your back. My name is Mary Michelle Worthy. You can find me at Fair Lady Slim Shady on Instagram. Who knows where wherever this is posted. Thank you so much for listening. I love you guys, and happy playing.